Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a book review video on 7 books, and most of them in this set were actually good. So let's just get right into it. So this one is a Harlequin book. This is an old Harlequin book. It was copyrighted in 2007, and it's an intrigue book. It's by Alice Sharpe, and it's called Royal Heir, and this is what it looks like. It's about this woman who is supposed to meet this man at the airport to take her best friend's / cousin's son, because she died and her husband died. And when she gets to the airport, the guy says, "Oh, I already gave you this baby," and blah, blah, and here he gave it to somebody that was impersonating her. And it turns out that she's trying to find this person that just took her new guardianship baby. And she finds the real dad to this baby, who didn't die in a boat explosion. And they find out that his father, the baby's dad, is the king of this country, so he's the next in line. And that was why this person took the baby, and he has to get the baby back, obviously, and then go back to this country where he could get really, really hurt because of all these different things. It was way better than the intrigue books I read now from this series by Harlequin. Like, this one had really lots of action in it. And there was more action than romance in it, if you ask my opinion, which I really liked. So I have 2 of these books. They go in the same series. It doesn't say what it's about. It's basically the same characters. It doesn't say what kind of series it is. It's called Hold the Cream Cheese and Kill the Locks. It's by Sharon Kahn. This is what it looks like. This one is about this man who's a renowned smoked salmon maker guy, and he ends up dying, and Ruby, that's the main character. These books are all about a Jewish community type of thing, so if you don't know a lot about the Jewish community or stuff like that, then you might not want to read it, because there are some things in the book that you might not know about, or if you don't have to know a lot about it, you just have to know some basic concepts of the Jewish faith to read these books. And Ruby has to go on the mend and try to figure out what happened to this guy, because her arch enemy, Essie Sue, is throwing this bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah for her cousins and their cousin daughter and stuff like that, and she wants this guy to host it and stuff like that, and obviously he can't because he died, and they have to figure out who did it. I really like these books. They're really funny. The main character's really got some spunk in her. She's really sassy. And this is another one in the series. Now, I don't know what numbers these are. I just read them as I get them. And this is one, it's called Never Nosh, a Matzo Ball. This is by Sharon Kahn as well. This is what it looks like. And it's about Essie Sue again. She's the charity party planner thing in the church, the temple. And she decides to do this matzo ball, sell these low-fat matzo balls for this charity that she's working on to get her a statue for her sister that died, I guess, in a previous book. And she wants to have these for one of their Jewish celebrations. And here, the guy that was helping her with it, the baseball coach, he dies. And she has to figure out if it was from the matzo balls or if it was from somebody else. And these books are really nice because, sometimes when I read, I have a lot of mystery books to read. And when I read these, sometimes it's predictable. Sometimes you know right off the bat it's this person. Well, these books, I really didn't know that these people were gonna do that, so that was really good. So this one is a spice shop mystery. It's a salt and pepper. It's the first in the new series, and it's called Leslie Budewitz. I guess that's how you say her last name. This is what it looks like, and it's about this woman. Her name is Pepper. She got named from her parents named her after, I think, a TV show character or something like that. She said what it was, but I forget, and it was Pepper. So her name's Pepper, and she owns this shop where they handcraft, like, spice blends and tea blends and stuff like that. And here this doctor gets murdered. It takes place in Pike Place, the market where it's in Seattle, that place, and her shop's in that market. And he was found on her front doorsteps. Obviously, they have to figure out who killed this guy and why, because he wasn't, like, a mean person and stuff like that. And here he had a secret. And it was a really good book. Like I said, I didn't know. I had no inkling as to who did it in that book either. So this book I've had for a long time. And it's a book that I got from a flea market where it was like a mystery bag where you just, like, it just said what the types of stories were in the bag, and then you just paid, I think it was like $10 or something for a bag, I don't remember. And this is one of them. This book was just okay. It was, it's called Domain. It's by James Herbert, and this is what it looks like. And it's basically, it takes place in the near future where, these people, I don't know if it's the government or scientists, I don't know, throw bombs at this country, which takes place in England. And here everybody goes undercover, and they don't realize that these rats are taking over the how would you explain it? The not the underground, but the place above ground. And these rats are really weird. They have, like, they're not like regular rats. They're, like, really big. They can eat people. Like, they're just whatever, from this nuclear bomb thing that happened to the city. And it was just okay. Like, obviously they had to something happened where they were in the safe. These people were in the safety zone. And something happened where it got flooded out, and then they had these 3 people from this little safety zone decided to go and try to kill the rats off, or try to figure out what's making these rats different from normal rats and stuff like that. And it was just okay. It really wasn't that great of a book. Like, I really didn't enjoy it. This is a pet sitter mystery, a Kendra Ballantine pet sitter mystery, and this is the last one that I have. It's not the last one in the series, but this is the last one I have of these books. I need to read, I think, like 2 more, and I'd be done with the series, but I have to find them. And this is called Never Say Sty. It's by Linda O. Johnston. This is what it looks like. And Kendra is a pet sitter / attorney. She's like a litigator or something like that. And she lost her job because of something that happened in the first book. I don't think I ever read the first book in the series, so I don't know what happened. And so she turned up to a pet sitter where she goes and watches people's pets and takes care of them while they're away in California and stuff like that. And she's part of this show called Animal Auditions. And it's where these animals go and they do these tricks and get voted off and stuff like that. It's kind of like a reality show competition, but with pets. And this time, Kendra came up with the idea of, instead of doing, like, just regular dogs and cats, they do potbelly pigs. And one of the judges ends up, he's a nasty guy. He ends up dying. And they think it was one of the contestants that did it. And she has to figure out who did it and why. And she uses the help of pigs, because I think most people say that pigs are smarter than dogs and cats and that sort of thing. And this is the last book. Now, I don't know how this book got this bad, but the cover is really, really in bad shape. It's called The Forgiving Jar. It's in a series. This is the second book in the series. It's a trilogy. And it's called The Prayer Jars. It's book 2. It's by Wanda E. Brunstetter. She writes a lot about the Amish people and Mennonite people and stuff like that. This is what it looks like. I don't know how the book got really crumpled like this, because the back of the book is nice and so are the pages, but the front, I don't know what happened to it. And it takes place on this. What happened is this girl impersonates this Amish, this girl impersonates this family's Amish, this granddaughter to her Amish grandparents. And she ends up in this book she comes back in the last book. And this girl, who's really their granddaughter, comes back, and the girl that was pretending to be their granddaughter explains what happened and blah 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 that happened in the first book and why she had to impersonate their granddaughter and stuff like that. And here they end up living on the same farm with the original woman's grandparents. And she's trying to figure out, like, she's getting jealous of this woman who's like, why is my grandmother doing this? Because that's not really her granddaughter, and blah, blah, blah. And why are they doing this? Because this woman obviously stole from them, and stuff like that, and blah, blah, blah. And then the woman that pretended to be the granddaughter is trying to find her place in life. Like, should she be Amish? Should she be with this one man? And blah, blah, blah. And that's basically where the book ends, where they kind of find a niche and what paths they're starting to go into. And there's only one book left in the series, and I do have it. I don't know if I'm going to read it next or not. I don't know. But there's only 3 in the series. The first one, I think, was called The Hope Jar. I think that's what the first one was called. I do not remember. And it's called the Prayer Jar series because the 2 girls in the first book, the one impersonating their granddaughter, finds this jar full of, like, prayer, a jar filled with, like, these little pieces of paper that have, like, little scriptures on them and prayer things and advice on them. And in this one, the real granddaughter finds this other jar. It's a different jar, and it has different things in it, but it's like the same concept. And they obviously don't know who wrote them either. They don't know if it's the grandmother or whoever. They don't know. So hopefully in the last book they figure out who did it, because I really want to know. It's like one reason why I want to read the next one, to figure out who really wrote these. But it was a nice book. The chapters were long in it, and I think there was like 40 chapters in it, I think it's either 30 or 40 chapters. And like I said, it was a good book. So that's all the books I have for this book review video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.